Welcome to the Lord's channel. Praise the Lord. Yeah, just praise the Lord, I guess. This is floor 172 on the Zodiac Age Battle Tower, and I'm going to talk through some colourful commentary and hopefully give you some useful tips on how to tackle this node, or how you should have tackled the node, because the battle tower is done now. But you guys might be interested in how to tackle the Buffalo in the future, if you may choose to do that, which you probably will do, because you're probably Mobius fanatics like myself. So just to kick things off with commentary, this job is it's Sword Saint. As you can see, unless you're blind, and you know, you may be, that's fine. I'm using UB, and I'm using what the hell is it called? The Odin, the one that makes these dark orbs appear. So I'm using that, and a Mega Drive, and funnily enough, I'm using Lord of Hope. So it's a pretty simple strategy on the first node. You just have to drive 5 fire orbs. You have to have full health at the end, and you have to have all your abilities on cooldown, and you have to have full ultimate gauge. So you know, it's pretty tricky, or it can be. So here we go. And just to talk about my sub job, so it's not a complete surprise and you're not all massively shocked, I'm using Prima Donna with lightning skin. Pretty simple strategy, just using Ragnarok for the attack. Using Neo X as my break-in card, which is completely reliant on prismatic return, but as you'll see further on in the tower, it's pretty much that as you get further along in the tower, you know, I think in the 170s it probably took about 25 attempts a node. Some of the harder nodes probably took about 50 attempts, and when I got to 180 it was possible to proceed, but to get the right amount of RNG and the right amount of prismatic return, you're probably looking at about 50 to 100 attempts, so it's not that fun. But yeah, it's not very exciting node really. It's like shooting pumpkins in a barrel, or like destroying melons on multiplayer. It's not really that hard. But so, just to recap, I've gone in the second round against the Chimera with 5 fire orbs and all my good stuff on cooldown, full health. So I'm just under. So I have 70% fire resist on my Sword Saint. I've still got just under 7,000 HP left, which is very, very good. And my strategy against Buffalo, as you can see, I'm just using my Mega Drive, so I've got an extra 5 actions. I've got Berserk to play with. I've got Lord of Hope as well, or Light of Hope I should say, although Lord of Hope does sound a hell of a lot better. Hopefully people start using that. And so I've just really got to do as much damage as I can in one turn, because a Buffalo will absolutely destroy me if I don't do it in one turn. But it's really not a problem, because I've already got high ultimate gauge already. I'm just about to use my second one. I've just driven my life orb, so I'm at full health now, so my UB does even more damage. There we go. So I'm debuffing the Chimera, so it's not really a problem, and I can focus on the Buffalo, but more importantly, I have more dark orbs to use to nuke it. It's got quite a lot of health though, so at these higher levels it's going to take every single attack, and only had enough firepower because of the high HP I had when I started the node, which was just under 7,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the difference between that and going into the fight with 1,000 HP is quite a lot when you're just looking at margins upon, you know, you're looking at the smallest margins to get an advantage in the battle tower. So the Chimera is really nothing to worry about. It's a basic bitch, as some might say, some Americans might say, on some reality TV show. I don't know, something like that. I don't know, I've just heard that's what people call them on reality TV shows. Anyway, I digress. Back to Mobius. So yeah, it's pretty simple. I'm changing to my Prima Donna. I should have a full ultimate gauge very quickly. One attack. Yeah, full ultimate gauge. And sometimes it changes to wind, which would, it makes sense. I could do more damage, but it's remained still as a fire boss, which is fine. I mean, Ragnarok does pretty much good damage to everything. So going into the final fight with my tactics, I want to get as much of an ultimate bar as I can, ideally towards maximum, and I want to get as many prismatic orbs as I can, because I'll be using Neo X Def to take down the yellow bar, and because I can't naturally get dark orbs to use Neo X, I'm completely relying on prismatic return and what I get from using my ultimate. Now, a few people might be asking the question, why Lord? Why are you using Prima Donna when you could be using Crimson Archer? Because Crimson Archer is a little bit better at breaking and does a bit more damage with Ragnarok. Well, you'll see my strategy to kill Belias and Hashmel is not really dependent on using Ragnarok, but is very dependent on breaking them. And those extra 2 turns of break that you get using Prima Donna is pretty damn good. So as you can see, Zacharias they'll take 2 ultimates to break. That's just how it is. So this tactic's completely dependent on getting very good RNG with a prismatic return, so that I can take the yellow gauge off. As you'll see, I'm getting some pretty decent luck. There we go. Let's get my ultimate gauge to full. There you go, more prismatic return, which is excellent. And this should break. So Prima Donna will have a couple of extra break turns, which is very, very good. So my tactic going into this, I'll be using Gotterdammerung to take off some of Belias's HP. That'll also heal Hashmel, but he's pretty much full health anyway, so that really doesn't matter. Made a mistake on this. I should have used Gotterdammerung a little bit more, because I had some really good prismatic return, but it really didn't matter in the end. I can change to Sword Saint. So now I'm nuking Belias with UB, as you know. The more attacks I use and the lower my HP gets, the worse damage I get, so it's really important when you're doing this type of strategy that you prioritise and you're keeping your HP high, which I'm doing. So obviously using the Lord of Hope card is pretty good, because that takes my HP up, it gives me War, which helps as well. Absorb some of the UB self damage. Look at this, I am nuking Hashmel. Couldn't kill him in one break, because obviously that's ridiculous at this level. Most importantly, I've just debuffed Belias, so he's got slow, which is very important, because I'm going to exploit the Zacharias' mechanic that when they're on low HP they prepare for their final attack. So that's what Belias will do instead of hitting me. So I effectively get another turn, because if you remember this, Belias can't be stunned. And here we go. So if you look very closely, you see how little damage I'm actually doing to these guys unbroken, but it's just enough to get it done. So I'm focused on Belias because he's got Unguard up, so he'll take a little bit more damage. And as soon as I kill one of those, they'll get debuff immunity, so they'll be harder to kill. So just have to get them down to the smallest of slivers and then kill them off. And the video is finishing up, so hope you found this video enjoyable. It's certainly, you don't really get any decent videos narrating high level play. There we go, some confetti, that's amazing. So hopefully you guys found this useful, and well done to everyone else in the battle tower that played legit and played fairly. It's appreciated. Obviously don't hack the game because that's pathetic, and let's have a look at the top 9. So well done to everyone else. Well done to Cywar for 2nd place. Well done for Arito for being Arito. And this is Lord signing off.